Do you tend to always use the same approaches when you teach? Would you like to add some variety to your lessons? I'm Andrea for What is ELT, and in today's video we will define task-based learning, walk you through the stages of the lesson and give you some classroom tips for you to make your lessons even more exciting. Let's go! Task-based learning is an approach to teaching in which learning takes place through the completion of meaningful tasks that resemble real life. In task-based learning, or TBL, learners can be asked to perform tasks such as creating a marketing campaign, making a YouTube video, or writing a film review and posting it online. Tasks in task-based learning should have a very clear purpose, because this will help students focus on the meaning and the ideas that they are conveying and not so much on the form of the language that they are using to perform the task. And another important aspect of task-based learning is that all tasks should have a measurable outcome. What does that mean? It means that if they are making a YouTube video at the end of the lesson, they should have a YouTube video ready to share with their peers and the teacher. But to use TBL successfully, only assigning tasks to students is not enough. A TBL lesson is usually broken down into different stages, and the stages aim at helping students perform the tasks more confidently. The first stage is the PreTask. This is when the teacher raises students' interest in the topic and help them prepare to perform the task. In the preparation stage, students can focus on the content and the language that they will need to perform the task. However, as communication is the main aim in task-based learning, the language preparation should not focus on discrete items of the language, but rather a more holistic view of the language that they're gonna need in order to perform the task successfully. For example, the YouTube video that we are preparing for this lesson, students can, in the preparation stage, watch some YouTube videos and come up with a list of characteristics of what makes a video successful. After the preparation stage, it's time for students to actually perform the task. But instead of just saying, now let's make a YouTube video, you can break the task down into smaller parts. For example, first, students can decide on the topic that they'd like to talk about. They can brainstorm and select the ideas that they'd like to include. They can outline and write down a script if they want to. They can also decide on roles, for example, who's going to be the director, who's going to be the presenter of the video. They can rehearse, and then finally, they make the video and share it with their peers. After the task is over, it's time to evaluate and assess students' work and give them feedback. But feedback should not only be given on the linguistic performance of the students during the task, but also the completion of the task as a whole. They can compare their YouTube videos with their peers and with other videos that are available online. At this point, you're probably wondering, what is the teacher's role throughout this process? While the students are performing the task, it is the teacher's responsibility to monitor, provide support, and collect information that might be useful in feedback, which is given in the post-task phase. Then the teacher can carry out error correction, language expansion, and work on language that emerged while students were performing the task. Tip number 1. Tasks in TBL need to trigger genuine communication, so make sure that the tasks you provide your students are similar to real-life situations. For example, talking about global warming is not a task, but designing a plan to reduce carbon emissions at the workplace is. Tip number 2. Remember that going over the whole TBL lesson cycle takes time, so plan the appropriate amount of time for students to prepare for the task, for them to do activities that will help them perform the task better, and save enough time at the end to give them feedback. Tip number 3. Make sure you anticipate problems related to content and language before you teach a TBL lesson, because this will help you be better prepared to give your students feedback at the end of the lesson in the post-task phase. We hope you liked this video and that it helps you prepare even more successful lessons. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. See you next time! Task-based learning. After the task is over, the linguistic aspect of the task also on the task completion. Different stages to help your students perform the tasks. Assigning tasks to students is not enough. Tasks to perform tasks such as is not a task.